I'll do the mark dance. Okay, so here we are on a windy day. I'm going to have to put my visor down. We're outside a little school in Cornwall, and we're going to try and explain the limiting point to you. Now, the limiting point is apparently a very difficult thing to understand, but it makes riding so much easier. And what we're trying to demonstrate is, the first thing will be positions on the road. What I'm going to show you is this. It's a B road, so it's got 2 lanes. Obviously it's very muddy at the moment. Now what I'm going to show you is when I'm standing in a position that a lot of people take when they're on a main road for a bend, and I'm going to walk towards the bend, and as I do it I'll explain what we're trying to look at. And basically I'll do it 2 times to show the position of the road. So I'll have to turn around, make sure there's a car. We'll do it once in this position, and then once in this position. A little wave to the kids. Okay, so I'm in a typical position which you see lots of motorcyclists riding, and this is for many reasons. They think they're taking the racing line. They think they're taking, you know, the safest line, but in actual fact they're not actually as safe as they think they are, because they're restricting the speed they can ride at, which may be restricting traffic behind them and things like that. So what I'm going to do is walk towards this bend and hopefully explain it. So here I am, walking at a normal pace. Now the bend looks a tight bend. We can't see any further than where that bus is at the moment. Okay. I'm a little bit in because obviously there's traffic on the road, and the bend is reasonably tight. We can't see much else around the corner, but as I approach the bend we start to see things, and there's Toby walking away from me now. Now that's my limiting point. Okay, so Toby is the furthest, just about the furthest I can see. I've slowed down to quite a slow walk now. Now that's what they call the limiting point, and as I'm keeping the same speed as Toby, we're actually stationary, okay, in as much as he's not moving any further away from me. If I speed up, Toby will get closer to me. I'm speeding up now and Toby's getting closer, but if I was to slow down even further, Toby will be moving away from me. And that's how we explain a limiting point. But I've just proven the point that, and you'll see it on the video when we do this again, where I actually saw Toby from. And so when I start walking back this time, I'll be in the outside edge of the lane where people think it's dangerous to go, but in actual fact it will help you see further around the bend. I'm just checking up the road, see if there's any traffic. So I'm walking towards it now, same speed as I was before. I'm on the outside of the bend from the same spot, and here I've seen Toby again. Now I'm actually going to move back in now from this, okay, and I'm just going to go directly across the road, and just to see how much I've actually cut off of the view. All I've done is walk, 3 meters from one side of the lane to the other, and I can't see Toby at all. But if I move back out to my position again, there he is. That's the difference that position will make. And as I walk towards him, the same sort of speed, he's the limiting line, which isn't getting any further away from me. So it means I can maintain the same speed. So in our efforts to try and explain the limiting point a little bit more, we're standing on a road. It doesn't matter that there's a white line. It's a very narrow road, but you can see if I look towards it now, I'm on the right hand side of the road, and it doesn't matter which side of the road it is, because the limiting line is the limiting line. Now, if I was to be approaching this bend, here we are, we're now on this road again, and my limiting point, the point of which I can't see any further around the bend, is where Toby stood. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk towards Toby. The bend is quite tight, so as I walk towards Toby, he as my limiting line will move away from me. Okay, so I'm keeping pace with him. I can just see him. and he's moving away from me. So my limiting line is moving away. Okay? There we go. And as I go around the corner, he opens up completely and I've got the full road in front of me. What a theatrical manoeuvre that is. Okay. So now we'll go back again and we'll do the limiting line in the other position. Okay. So Toby now, if you can just see him, I'm on the other side of the road. Okay. It doesn't matter that there's a white line there. But Toby is as far as, if you look at where Toby is now on the road, he is as far as I can see around the bend. So it's a more open bend and I can carry on with a little bit more speed. Now as I walk towards him, okay, very quickly within 6 paces, okay, I can now see the whole road towards the next bend in the distance. And that is basically the limiting line. It's quite simple. I think it's made more of a difficult subject by the way it's explained. Hopefully this is more sensible. But if I walk towards Toby now and Toby goes around the corner and I'm walking towards Toby now, so I've put myself into a position on the opposite side of the road because I'm going around a left-hand bend. My limiting point is stationary. Okay, I can't see any more around the bend. There's Toby, so that is the maximum amount that I can see on this bend, which means I have to start slowing down because I can't see any further. Now as I walk towards it and Toby starts to move away from me, my limiting line is moving, which means I can maintain my speed, and as I get around the corner I can now see more of the road and accelerate away quite safely. Obviously there's another bend and we have to deal with that, but I think that works okay. Toby's happy, he's still filming me. Now we risked our lives out on the main road trying to explain limiting lines and positioning and things like that. We're going to try and do it on a bit of paper on the table, so bear with us because it's like we came from the school of play school where everything is very simple. So here we go. In typical RiderCamTV, we're keeping it really simple, but basically what we've drawn here is a bend. Obviously it's a U bend, but we don't have to go into what that's all about. And what I've done is I've drawn 2 bikes in 2 different positions. So there's a red bike in this position, a red bike in this position, there's a blue bike in those 2 positions. And around the bend, we've put marks on the bend. Now the limiting line is the point at which you can't see any further around the bend. And once you can understand the concept, and hopefully our video will explain it to you previously, you know, where we see Toby walking away from me as we go around a bend, it might make more sense. But if we take this bike here, bike 1, imagine he's coming around the bend and he's in the best position, as they would say, for going around a right-hand bend. If I just put a basic line across from him, bisecting the bend to this point here, this is as far around the bend as he can see at this position. And then if I take the second position where he's moved further up through the road, and I bisect the bend again, you can see that he can see further around now. Okay, so that's the limiting point. And what they say is, in all the best magazines and manuals, is the limiting point is moving away from him, because as he moves up the road, then the limiting point moves around the bend. Now if we look at the blue bike, and we'll take this position first, his limiting line, because he's in the wrong position, as they would say, on the road, is almost right in front of him. So that's as far away around the bend as he can actually see. And if we take the second position of the bike, bisect the bend again, the second blue mark is as far as he can see there. So by now this guy is standing on his brakes worrying about the bend because he can't see any further. And he actually won't be able to see any further around the bend until he gets to about here, by which point he's either had an accident, he's fallen off, he's pulled on his front brake and the bike has stood up. So clearly the bike in this position is in the best position for seeing around the bend and maintaining a constant speed or slowing down as he needs to. We tried to keep it really simple because every time I've tried to understand the limiting line by reading a magazine or seeing a video, it always looks really complicated. So by hopefully showing you what it looks like on the road, although we nearly killed ourselves with buses and school kids and things, and then showing it on a diagram, maybe that makes a bit more sense. But don't take us for granted and think that we're the only way of understanding this. Have a look at other magazines and manuals and see if it makes sense. We try to keep it simple, and I think if you use this when you're riding a bike, it'll help you get around bends more safely. Remember, if you like us, give us a big thumbs up. We like your comments on the bottoms of the videos, always good. And if you want to subscribe to us, then that gets 2 thumbs up.